Peace, love, knowledge, and freedom, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Just Singing Podcast. Today, as you've seen from the title, I want to talk about one of my most favorite fucking things in the world, music, right? But I want to break down music. I'm gonna break music down to a finest component. Um, yeah, like as you've seen from the title, it's music. Learn to use it. Something that I've learned over the years is that music is a tool. Music is a tool. It's a weapon. It's whatever it needs to be, uh, because of the power that it holds. As people who are musically inclined, Black folks, I feel like we need to understand music far better than we do. Yeah, we can play it. We have the natural rhythms and shit. We can dance. Music infuses us in every way, shape, or form. But I feel like we should understand the depths of what music really is, the highest capacities of what music really is, and how to use it. Because music is clearly being used on us like a motherfucker. Like they use music on us. Music isn't something that we're listening to. It isn't something that it's a weapon right now. It's always been a weapon from the the retuning of it going from I think 432 hertz to 440 hertz as far as the calibration, like the frequencies being changed and everything. It's a lot of shit that goes with music that I think people don't understand. And I get tired of people, trying to tell me shit like, yo, it ain't that deep, man. You be looking too deep into it. It's like, nah, y'all don't be looking deep enough. And that's the problem. I'm okay with that. Ain't no motherfucker alive gonna tell me I'm too deep for something just because they too shallow for it. So I want to talk about that. Like, if you understand, like, if you've been following me for a minute on social media, even before this, like, you see me do jam sessions. If you have my YouTube, you see me do and if you knew me from way back in the day, I used to rap. Then I tell y'all here, I used to be a rapper, but I never realized how. Well, it transitioned once I started doing jam sessions. Like, if you listen to my sessions, they're a lot more intentional in what I say. Back when I just used to rap about, money and bitches, you feel me? Like, that's all it was to rap about. You feel me? I used to rap about money and bitches and shit and clothes and, balling. The same shit everybody else is rapping about. Um, but that's what stayed in my life for the most part. Like, I kept that revolving in my life. And then as I look back, I was like, bruh, music is a fucking tool. So then I started studying. I started studying some deep comedic information and shit. Like, and one of the things that I came across was that music was in back in our ancestral days, music was only limited to no, I'm not gonna say music. Music with words was only limited to sages, priests, the high order people. So people that were in a higher space that sat above the king, like the king's viziers and shit like that. Those were the only people who could put words over music. And I was like, why? And as I started diving into it and it broken down from the elemental perspective, from the full dynamic of what the music is, down to the chord, to the notes, to the individual sounds and shit, it was like, oh, it's the power, it's the repetition, it's the certain syntax, it's a whole bunch of shit that goes into it that makes music a tool. Music is beyond just something, oh, it's a vibe. I gotta fuck with this. Like, no, it is a tool. And if you do not understand how to use this tool, and if you do not understand what this tool is, it will be used on you as it fucking is. You feel what I'm saying? And now it's gone a step further to where they put visuals with the music, completely changed the game and fucked everything up, right? In the book, Behold a Pale Horse or whatever the case may be, they start talking about a little kid named Little Johnny. They said, if you want to control Little Johnny, what we're going to do is as a kid, put him in front of music videos or whatever the case may be. The deepest parts of that wasn't the music video, so to speak. The imagery, yeah, tied into it, but the imagery reaffirmed the music as a tool, right? So I want to talk about the deeper aspects today of music, all the way back to the core basics of it. And then we're going to bring it back up to what music is, how it is being used right now, and how I'm not telling motherfuckers what to listen to. I'm not telling motherfuckers what they should and shouldn't do, but I wouldn't be me if I didn't understand something and give it to y'all to make the decision with. You feel what I'm saying? Music is that potent, it's that powerful. And if you don't know how to use it correctly, it will be used correctly on you, whether you have positive results in your life or negative results in your life. But it will be used correctly on you because that is the design. But before we dive heavy into it, Be sure to check out my website at IamJustSeen.com to get all things that are just seen. To all those who tip, donate, and sponsor to the podcast, you are greatly appreciated. To all those who would like to tip, donate, and sponsor to the podcast, you can do so by clicking the link in the description of your podcast. Not this episode, but the podcast itself. Cash App and PayPal are just fine. And as always, that's that for this, and that's this for that. So we're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, we're gonna dive into music, learn how to use it. And don't forget to visit IamJustSeen.com. There, you can get all things Just Seen. You want to add the So For Real series to your library? Visit IamJustSeen.com. You want to learn how to master the markets for serious trading and investing? Visit IamJustSeen.com. You want to get your hands on some exclusive merch like tees, hoodies, coffee mugs, hats, bags? Visit IamJustSeen.com. Are you thinking about transitioning into the plant-based lifestyle? Visit IamJustSeen.com. You ever want to just chat with Seen about anything from simple advice to mentorship? Visit IamJustSeen.com. Anything and everything that is me, you can find at IamJustSeen.com. So take a quick peek into my world to see why being just seen is nothing less but always more. Because you never really know what you need until you see it, and you will never see it unless you visit IamJustSeen.com. All right. Welcome back. That title was trash, but I don't know anything else that I could use to call it. So for now, that's what it is, and that's probably what it's going to be. It's probably what you saw when you pulled up to the episode and shit. But yeah. Without further ado, let's dive heavy into it. So I'm gonna start with I'm just gonna start with the understanding of music. So first off, music is about rhythm. Music it music governs a certain law of nature. And I don't think people understand that music actually governs a law of nature. And that law of nature that music governs has very, very powerful manipulative factors, right? Music can make you do shit. The bullshit about like, and this is why I used to say it when I was a kid, but as I got older, this is why I hate it now. Like people like, I don't listen to the words, I just hear the beat. You're lying. You're lying. You may not be, and that's the thing about it. You may not be hearing the words. No. You may not be listening to them intently, but your unconscious mind is absorbing every one of those words. Y'all feel me? And I think this episode suffices because I've said this shit so motherfucking much, and I told the story tied to it so much that it finally is gonna make sense when I actually break down music. Problems. I love bad bitches. That was my problem. That was an affirmation over catchy music. Right? This is gonna be the power of music. Like it was used on me. It reaffirmed that I love bad bitches. I listen to that shit all the fucking time. As soon as you hear a song, you're like, yo, that's my shit. That's it. The moment you acknowledge that's my shit, you've opened the portal to allow whatever that tool is supposed to be used for to be used against you. Or however it's supposed to be used. You feel me? Hit records are hit records for a reason because it's how well we're going to tap in and capture. The thing about music is we accept it by how much we listen to it. You feel what I'm saying? They purposely put songs, okay, like the whole marketing aspect. It's like you put certain images out there for a reason. You put certain songs out there for a reason because you need this particular response to it. It's all in the power. You feel me? It's all in the power of music. But we have to get back to the core of what music is, right? We have to understand that first to understand how music is being used as a tool. So in I forgot the name of the episode. I want to say it's chakras, the breaking of the seven seals, right? I mentioned what is it, the throat chakra? And in the chakras, I even done this in Sophra 3. I break down how the chakras are associated with the elements. Something that people often don't teach when they're talking about the elements are the three that they don't teach about. Everybody knows about earth, water, fire, and air. You know, Avatar, airbenders, all of that other good shit. They never go into the three higher than that. Well, the four higher than that because it's earth, water, fire, air, sound, light, thought, and then the ethers, right? So how the reality plays itself out from a spiritual component. Everything is in the ethers. Some people call it the heavens, some people call it, whatever. But the ethers are where I'm pulling it from and I'm addressing it today. So everything sits in the ethers. Every thought, every idea, every purpose. Not only does it sit in the ethers for you to pull down, but there's things that you can put up in the ethers for people to receive. You feel what I'm saying? This is called collective consciousness, right? Collective consciousness has lost its efficacy. I ain't gonna say its efficacy, but it has been manipulated so much so that our collective consciousness is tied to our phones. You feel what I'm saying? With social media, quote unquote algorithms, they have brought and manufactured, you feel me, the ethers. You dig what I'm saying? There's no reason why. It's like we look at it as coincidence. It's like I think about this shit and it pops up on my phone. You feel me? And then at some point it happens so frequently, like, did I really look that up? Or did I speak it? Or did I say something? Like, what happened? You feel me? It's controlling the ethers. You know what I'm saying? It's not controlling the ethers, it's manipulating an aspect of the ethers and it's taking you away from the real ethers that you see. So every day, well, it's taking you from the real ethers of with the ideas that you can have, and it's giving you manufactured ideas. That's what social media is about. It's very antisocial, but it's called social media. Ain't that some shit? It completely disconnects you from everything, from people, nature, all of that good shit, right? So we're tying that into the grand scheme of it all. So when we're looking at the elements, earth, water, fire, air, light, sound, and thought, sound, light, and thought. Sound is associated with the throat chakra, speech, right? Uh, but it's the element is sound, right? Sound is an element that you build on. You dig what I'm saying? The seven elements all come together to create a being, right? So, but it all has to derive from the 4-8 dynamic, which is the ethers. The things have to slow down. The speed of the idea or whatever has to slow down from the ethers, hit the thoughts, hit the light, hit the sound, and go all the way down to the earth until it's materialized, right? This ain't no, mystical woke shit. This is reality. I'm going to explain it to you how it happens. A lot of people, we talk about 5Ds and we talk about the spiritual realm and we talk about mysticism and all this shit. And because we put so much mysticism on the shit, we can't see the reality for it. But alas, it's a motherfucker like me. You feel me? Um, but from the full understanding of the sound element, right? Sound is an element which we use to create. So they have taken control of sound, right? And created a reality that dictates the realities they want us to have. You feel me? The music you consume on a regular basis dictates your entire life. You feel what I'm saying? It dictates your entire life. When we have genres of trap music, the music that will trap you. You feel me? every the genres of music that we have, we once had music where we were spreading messages and we was breaking shit down and we was talking like it changed. It's like, no, they knew the dynamics of how powerful the music was, but we didn't. They've always known the power of music. They've always known the certain capacities of what you can do with music as a tool, but they've diluted it so much that it's like, oh, it's just music. It's not just music. That's why specific people get signed. There's certain frequencies and certain tonal capacities that have to be used, and it all derives from sound. So music is the final product of the raw materials of sound, right? So when we look at the raw materials of sound, you have, of course, the alphabet, which you speak. There's certain phonetics, that give off certain sounds because it carries a certain frequency. This low key is where magic comes into, like real magic. I know people are gonna be on some shit like, oh, you're talking about magic. Yeah, because magic needs to be talked about. Magic begins with the utterance. Magic begins with words, alchemy, all of that shit. The creation begins with what you speak, right? When you speak things, throat chakra, over sounds and music, also throat chakra, all of that energy is the same way. It can dictate your reality. And so for a 3, when I break down how to unblock your throat chakra, but how to understand the throat chakra energy, I explain how the sound, the sound element the sound element, when it's fully broken down, it goes to its finest point, which gives a certain frequency of the sound. So when we look at how letters were used at one point, everything starts off as an idea, whatever. And there's a string of things that go on. So when we talk about spelling, right? Spell, you feel me? Why do you have to spell words? Because to spell a word is to put a certain frequency that each individual letter holds together in a certain way that gives the vibration that it's supposed to give. You feel me? This is why English is the most dangerous. ridiculous, stupid language there is to man, because English is, this ties the sound. English is designed to purposely confuse you and not be understood. Like right now, if I said there, and there, motherfuckers don't know which there I said first. You know what I'm saying? Here and here, you know? And those are just the homonyms, the ones that sound the same. But now we got to look at the things that are spelled the same that are totally different, like lead and lead, read and read. Do you feel me? It's little shit like that, like rough, tough, and trough, all ending with the same. You know what I'm saying? Same sounds, and I use those because the T and the R are both used individually, like rough and tough. But then when you put trough together, it's not. It's a trough, and then the GH can come off like a F. This shit is purposely designed this way because it's gonna fuck with your throat chakra, because it's fucking with your capacity to utilize the sound element. You see what I'm saying? Everything that we have in this reality that we create is comprised of 7 elements: earth, water, fire, air, sound, light, and thought. And then of course the eighth one is the ethers and shit. But those are the ethers start outside of the body. The seventh are on the inside of the body's energy frequency, right? So they purposely manipulate the things you say. You know what I'm saying? Now, imagine speaking in a confusing way over music. This is why the sages were saying the music opens the direct pipeline to the soul. And it does that because it bypasses root chakra, sacral chakra, solar plexus, and heart chakra, right? And it goes straight to your throat chakra. It communicates. This is why in Sofrel 3, and even in my one-on-one sessions, I tell people, your throat chakra, the blockage of throat chakra is lies. Lies you tell and lies you hear, and this is the most important piece right here. Lies you tell and lies you hear, whether you know it's a lie or not. It does not matter if you know that it is a lie or not. It is listed in the ethers as a lie. And no matter what you pull down will create a lie for your life, for your reality. This is, you ever notice why when the quote unquote truth comes out, everything changes? Why? Why does everything suddenly change? Because you realize this lie has dictated an aspect of my reality. And now everything has changed because it was built on a lie. Shit's that fucking potent. Sound is that fucking potent, and we don't even realize how deep it really is. You feel me? And we put that shit over music. So now, when we break down the phonetics, not the phonetics, when we break down, well, I guess it would be phonetics because it is sound. When we break down the levels of the sound, we have 7 sounds. The number 7 is very potent. Like, people are not seeing that. You have 7 sounds that run in scales. C, B, A. No. No, C is C D E F. Every good boy does fine. F face. I used to play music, so I remember the scales. It's okay. So it's C D E F G B A. Yeah, those 7 notes are the sounds. You know why it doesn't start with A? I don't fucking know. Some, again, more manipulation of sound, because if it's supposed to go in order and it's alphabetical, logically it should go A, B, C, D, E, F, G and start over. But we start on C, right? They shifted it purposely because it's like it throws off a certain orientation, even from the visual representation of the shit. But stick on a level of just understanding the sounds. You have 7 sounds that may switch through pitches and octaves, but it's going to be 7 consistent sounds. You feel me? Even when you have sharps and flats, still 7 consistent sounds. You feel what I'm saying? A couple of the sounds that are in the 7 may have a small tweak in them because there's a derivation in their energy. You feel what I'm saying? But there's 7 sounds from C to B, right? That's important because these 7 sounds, the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, dum, 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 every cycle that runs through that, the entire capacity of our energies, of our speech, of our, you know what I'm saying, of our sounds is based off of these 7 sounds in some way, shape, or form. All right. Like I said, because you could go up octaves, you can have pitches and stuff, but then there's certain arrangements, right? That happens. So when we understand that, we start to dive into why are these sounds so prevalent. And not only that, how can we use these sounds to create certain frequencies that make us, advance our intelligence or advance our minds or dumb ourselves down? I'm gonna use an extreme, which is a perfect example of the extreme. So look at the fur elise. Now, again, it's no shot to this man or disrespect to this man's name because his music be banging. He got some bangers to it. But listen to the fur elise. That is one of the most complex musical pieces to ever play. The dum 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 dum. Motherfuckers take decades to practice that shit just so they could play it once in front of motherfuckers. Like that's how raw that fucking that's how raw that fucking sound template is, right? And the fur release was composed or whatever. So go from the fur release to a DJ Mustard beat. This is no shot to DJ Mustard in any way, shape, or form, but his beats only got 3 sounds. They all sound the same. Like, what was it? Rack City? Doom, doom, doom. Doom, doom, doom. It wasn't no dum 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 dum. You know how many octaves it ran through? The Furley's goes through so many octaves and so many sound templates, so many sharps and flats of the same 7 sounds. I mean, yeah, the same 7 pieces of the element of sound. The element of sound is divided up into those 7 pieces from just the music perspective, right? Now, when we look at the vocal, this is why it's all tied to throat chakra, because when we look at the vocal, there are 22, hear me well, there are 22 vocal sounds that we can make, right? And they derive from the alphabet, right? However, here's where it gets fucked up because now we go back to the English language that I was talking about. Why does the English language have 26 letters? Some of these letters duplicate, and it's purposely designed so you can say the word according to a certain dynamic. Like C can be pronounced like a K or S. So C is one of those letters that should not be in there. Um, what's another one? Either V or W. One of these motherfuckers ain't supposed to be in there either. I want to say it's V because W was it was Jehovah, but the W was there or whatever ahead of time. But it's 4 letters total. I know it's C. I know it's W. Um, S is in there. I don't know. I'm drawing a blank. I know I do these off the top of the head, but there's 2 other letters. So there's 22 letters. Now, this is why also if you study, the religious texts or whatever, they break down 22 paths. 22 is associated with the Hebrew alphabet because there's 22 sounds. And these sounds are associated with certain things. So when you utter certain words, you're bringing these frequencies together. So when you understand the dynamics of the tree of life is broken down into the 22 paths, but each of the paths is connected to a specific letter of the Hebrew alphabet. So there's a specific sound. So when you're thinking about just consider this. If you read Sophra 3, this is really going to make a lot of sense to you. But like, if you look at how the 22 paths are played out, and I told you, like, you go through certain paths. I said, I gave the template of what the 22 paths are because I said, in life, you can go through different ones, but you got to always know where you're at, right? And when you put together a string of letters, right, that are all Hebrew, you're now placing on a metaphysical level, you're now placing an orchestration of different paths of the tree. You feel me? So if you understand, the full path is represented by Aleph, which is the A in the Hebrew alphabet. And then if you look at that's the full path, we understand what that is. And then if you look at like I'm trying to get the alphabet in order. Okay, I just use the next one. The next one would be the Empress path or the Magician path. The Magician path is represented by Beth, right, which is the letter, quote unquote, the letter B in the Hebrew alphabet, right? So when you look at how you're arranging pieces of letters, the Hebrews understood a certain dynamic that they didn't share. They shared, but the motherfuckers didn't tell it, right? So now you're getting your context, and it's just like, you know what I'm saying? You think it's so mundane, but it's so much deeper than that. So when you put these sounds together, these letters together, it gives you a certain power. So each of these letters is associated with a certain path of the tree of life, and the path of the tree of life is an extension of you. So every fucking word that you speak has power in a different way to it, and it carries a certain tonal frequency to it, right? So if you look at the word, let's just say abracadabra, and you've paid attention to the tree of life, abracadabra is actually a word from the Hebrew language, and it means what I think I create, right? That's what the definition means based off the tonal frequencies of all of these letters that come together. You dig what I'm saying? That's one word, right? So tying that into actually sound, and we're gonna get to using music. It's just a lot of this shit got to be laid out first, So when we add that to sound, that is just the actual sound from the point of the musician side, the music side of the seven notes, and then you have the actual vocal side of the 22 letters, the 22 letters that create different frequencies and sounds in which we speak. Okay, so when we're looking at an element, all elements are used to build on shit. Let's keep it 100. You're using the earth element for stability, the water element for emotion and fluidity, the fire element for excitation and transformation, air energy for like thinking and using the mind or whatever the case may be. Um, Sound is for maintaining rhythm and maintaining structure. This is why we spell. This is why you cast spells. The two things go hand in hand. Right? People will look at, oh my gosh, you practice witchcraft. Everybody practice witchcraft. Some people just know that they're practicing witchcraft, and some people don't. Why? Because the entire language that we have adopted and the phonetics of language as a whole is built off of magic and alchemy. Everybody's a wizard. This is Hogwarts all the way around. Some people know that they're practicing magic, and some people don't. People will utter the words, there's power, life, and death in the tongue. This is why there's power, life, and death in the tongue, because the sole fact that we can speak makes everybody a magician. You feel me? Don't be afraid of the shit. But you got to understand, this is why I talk about how they make whatever it is that you see so fucking far-fetched that when you see yourself doing the shit, you're like, I'm not doing that. Because it's so, like, no, principally, you are. The words in which you speak are the form of how magic plays out into your life. When you say things like can't, don't, won't, no, when you hear that all the time, you shut down. You shut down your faculties to do anything. When I first started off as an entrepreneur, there was this audio that I listened to, and it was like, by the time a child is 4 years old, they have heard no 16,000 times in some way, shape, or form. I was like, man, whatever, bro. Then I thought back, how many times do we hear the word no growing up versus how many times we hear yes? So much so that hearing no, it hurts our soul. Nobody likes to hear no so much that they don't like to say no to another motherfucker. Because you know how much no hurts you when you can't do something, when you're constantly restricted. Do you know how powerful that is? To know that the spell cast simply by hearing the word no has now put you in a space where you are restricted and can't do anything. That's powerful. And that's only two fucking letters. Two fucking letters. So much so that it's so powerful, motherfuckers will lie before they say no. You ever walk past a homeless person, they said, do you have any change? You be like, oh nah, I ain't even got it. All I got is my card on me. I ain't got no cash. Just tell the motherfucker no. You can't. Because of what no is tied to for you. You feel what I'm saying? And that's why it becomes so easy to lie, because no always carries a negative energy with it when it's spoken. You feel me? So by 4 years old, we've heard no in some way, shape, or form. No, sit down. You can't do this. Don't do this. Stop doing this. Stop doing it. You're hearing so many restrictive terms that you wonder why your life is so restricted. You need quote unquote permission to say, can I do this? So many people ask me, this is one of the reasons why when people ask me shit, they be like, yo, why do you do this? And I always ask them, why not? I used to always try to give an answer to justify some shit or whatever the case may be. I'm done doing that. I'm done giving you the answer as to why I do what the fuck I do. You tell me why I shouldn't be, since you know. You feel me? Can you prove that? Can you refute it? Why are you doing this? Why not? Well, I ain't got the answer. Well, I ain't got to answer you. If you don't have the answer for me, I don't have because if you don't have the answer, why the fuck are you formulating the question? I get, oh, I want the answer. That's why I'm asking the question. But no, when you are formulating the question, you are seeking to understand why I do what I do, because that means in your mind, you can't fathom it. You feel what I'm saying? You can't fathom it. I got this quote that I heard. In battle rap, the bull said, he said, that I don't forgot shit that people ain't even learned yet. It's real shit. And then I took it a step further and said, yo, I reminisce about things that people haven't even fathomed yet. When I tell people shit like that, they be like, oh, that's, you think, no, I really do reminisce on shit that motherfuckers ain't even fathomed yet. How do I know? Because I can say something to somebody like, I never thought about that before. I'm reminiscing on what you, in the conversation in which I'm drawing on an experience to somebody, and they say, I've never thought about that before. I am literally reminiscing on what they have not fathomed. There's times on this podcast that I'll say some shit that you'll probably listen to and they're like, damn, that was different. That was different. Like I ain't never looked at no shit like that before because I'm reminiscing on what somebody hasn't fathomed yet. The power of words. This is the power of sound. And like, I know it's like, damn, Scene, get back to the music. I'm gonna get to the fucking music. Give me time. You feel me? Give me time. But yeah, so my bad, I got my tea. So when we're looking at the restrictions that have been placed upon us, like think about this. And this is why it's like they're like, yo, how do kids have so much energy and shit? Like when they born, how do they maneuver so much and then suddenly shut down? Because the first 2 years of life, we're encouraging them to talk and we're encouraging them to walk. Right? The words, the energy. Yes, you can do it. Come on, come to mommy, come to daddy, walk, take your step. We show that excitement. We're tying that positive side to the words. Right? As soon as they learn how to walk and talk, stop talking so much. Be quiet. Sit down. Sit down. Instantly, you hear 16,000 no's by the time you're 4 years old in some way, shape, or form. You feel what I'm saying? Now, why is that all important? Because all of these things are taken in. And like I said, they're taken in and they're absorbed within our throat chakra area. Everybody talk about the chakras and shit. They're like, oh, you got to meditate. Like, I really show motherfuckers how to deal with their chakras, yo. I'm not even on no funny shit. Like, I'm not about just, speak your mind more or take this essential oil or meditate and hum and use this chant because it'll open. No, I'm going to show you how to really understand this motherfucker. You feel me? The throat chakra is that powerful. So when you understand the sounds and you understand that element that is associated with, you got to understand the element to understand how your shit gets blocked. So this is why I say it's whether you know that it's a lie or not. It's blocked by lies, but it's whether or not you know it's a lie. It can still be a lie. Universe don't discriminate. It's like, all right, it ain't my fault you don't know. One thing that they teach in law, and I repeat it here all the time, is the absence of is the ignorance of is not the absence of. Just because you don't know about some shit does not mean it's not affecting you how it's supposed to, right? So when we look at it as kids, look at the music and shit that we listen to, right? Look at what our templates are. This is what I talked about in Soul for One. The templates of the music that we listen to. It's about fucking or destroying shit. Think about it. Look about R&B. R&B started off as rhythm and blues. You was telling your story. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I'm in pain. I got the blues or whatever the case may be. Muddy Waters, all of them. Who was Chuck Berry was on some shit. I don't want to be sad, nigga. He made rock and roll. He made rock and roll. I don't want to be sad. I don't want to channel this type of energy through these words. I don't want to use music for this point. I want to use music for a good time. Rock and roll. You feel what I'm saying? R&B transitioned from being about pain and misery to solely being about fucking. Look at it. We look at 90s R&B. 90s R&B is like a golden age for us. You feel what I'm saying? We love it. We like the Jodeci's and all that. All of the music was about fucking in some way, shape, or form. Fucking, taking a man's woman from him, and bullshit. And then the rapper inside, it was either selling drugs, fighting destructive shit. It changed. Like there was no more messages out. You know what I'm saying? It started to transition. When our music was popping the most, like when you had like If I Rule the Worlds, you feel me, the Keep Your Head Up, like those, like Pac said it best. He was like, if niggas got big nuts, they gonna keep making the songs that, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna be real. You gonna feel it. He said, but if not, they gonna make that play shit that's about partying and fucking and doing a whole bunch of shit. Cause like when you want to talk about what you want to talk about, they're not gonna let you. They're gonna silence you. So in order to quote unquote secure the bag, you gotta, you know what I mean? I gotta make the music that will sell records, not the music that I want to make. So if we look at the era of the music right now, this is where we at. Now, as kids hearing this, mind you, think about how timid children get as they get older because they've heard no so much. Imagine what the fuck a programming, and that's just hearing no 16,000 times. Imagine growing up hearing certain music on a regular basis. You feel me? It's going to predicate and dictate who the fuck you're gonna be. You dig what I'm saying? You listen to gangster shit, it's gonna be on some gangster shit. This is the epitome of this hit me so heavy because it was like when they did fuck the police, that's when I knew. That's when I started to look. I mean, of course, I was a kid. I wasn't even born when Fuck the Police came out, but I'm speaking and breaking the barriers of time and understanding shit, right? So when I look at Fuck the Police, it say you cannot play that on the radio. You cannot say those words on the radio over music. And the beat is like that too? Fuck no. Don't you put that shit over music. That's why they wouldn't let them play it. They stopped playing it because it was like, okay, I can't. Mm-mm. It hit again. Because at first they was going to ban the shit. Then they came together and said, we're going to use this. Let's let them have this music. Let's let them use it, but let's market only that music. We're going to make sure that destructive music is what comes out. So when they hear it, it's going to go into their throat chakra energy and they're going to embody the behavior. Because your throat chakra is how you communicate. It's not just how you speak, it's how you communicate to the world. And it's blocked by lies, whether you know it's a lie or not. You feel what I'm saying? So when you're constantly hearing music that is like repeated over and over and over again, and you're taking it in, this is what it's gonna be. Think about WAP. I did a jam session over WAP, and that was strategic. This is why I did that. If you actually listen to that jam session over WAP, I was saying, I knew that, oh, this is what's popping. I got to use this energy right now to teach a lesson. And when I first started, I knew how to captivate motherfuckers. It was like, yo, good pussy come once in a blue moon, because it's talking about WAP. And then I said, but fuck that. I'm gonna ride the beat until the wheels lose hubcaps. Run that loop in the back to the truth and the facts. Realign in the mind in the time where the gates got pizza. Pedophilic leaders got items from children. There's children that's missing and plucked from our visions and drained of adrenaline. I went in that to say, yo, children are being snatched right motherfucking now. And y'all worried about some pussy. There's some shit that's supposed to happen. But here's another piece, and this ties to when I was talking about the visuals too. If you actually watch WAP, the video for it, while Meg and Cardi B are dancing, all you hear is the loop is, it's some hoes in this house. It's some hoes in this house. As they run through the house, filming everything, the moment Kylie Jenner walked through, they stopped the music. She got a quiet cameo. You know why? Because they did not want to associate the hoes in the house with her. Because to see it and to hear it loop, that tool is to say, here, these are the hoes in the house, not her. That wasn't by accident. That wasn't by accident. I wish people could pay attention and see it. They're like, oh, how'd she get the slow cameo walkthrough? And they took the music out. They did not loop. There's some hoes in this house on her part, but they only looped it on Cardi and Megan's part while they were twerking and shaking ass and shit. There's some hoes in this house. They some hoes in this house. They were the hoes that were in the house. You feel me? Music is that potent because it derives from the element of sound. Music is the final piece of all components of sound's element. The core of sound's element, like I said, it has two derivations. You have the 7 notes of music, and then you have the 22 letters of a language. You feel me? 22 letters of a language, these different phonetic sounds that work within that culture, within that language. When you put these two together, that's when you get the utterances that make magic happen on a different level. So when you're hearing music that on a regular basis puts you in a certain space, this is why I always tell people, never, if you're going through a heartbreak, do not listen to heartbreak music. That shit kept reaffirming that I was broken. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, I had to use the music to get out of it because I was like, oh, I'm sad. I'm sad, bro. I'm hurt. Let me listen to some Deuces and shit. And then when Deuces remix came out, I learned, like, when Deuces remix came out with Kanye, Drake, T.I., all of them, literally these verses were over the 5 stages of grief. I didn't catch that until I actually got it. Like, if you look through how they went through, Andre, they ended with, like, when you look at the extended remix, they ended with Andre 3000's verse, and his was the acceptance. You feel me? When you look at the beginning of it, how Drake's came out, Drake's verse was the denial. He was like, "Yo, no." Drake's verse was the bargaining. Kanye was anger. Um, I want to say Rick Ross's was denial because he wasn't even on topic with what the fuck he was talking about. But it all went through the stages of grief. Drake's was, "What you mean I ain't call you? I hit you when I landed." You feel me? Kanye, "You know what, yo? You a bitch." Ti, "Your wrist and finger glisten ice cold like Michigan and shit. Here we go with this again." It's like, and then Andre, he rounded it up. He was like, "A farewell email from a female, but I'm a player. I ain't gonna tell you all the details." But his thing was like, "Oh, that's what it is." And that was like, damn, shit was different, right? But each one of these people, they use music a certain way. So you had that certain verse that you wanted to, hear. You feel what I'm saying? You had that certain verse that you wanted to connect to, that certain verse that you because it's like I now can connect to this. When we don't know that music has to be used as a tool, we just take it in as a piece of our lives and we let whatever happens. So we get into people's like, "Yo, I want to listen to this particular music." Case in point, when crunk music came out, that fight music, fuck up the club, tear up the club type shit, pay attention. When you was in the club at the time, pay attention to when they played that music. When it was time for the club to shut down, that's when they played it. You ain't never heard no Knuck If You Buck soon as the club open. You know why? Because chances are these niggas gonna fight. All you keep hearing is get into the markets. But do you trade or do you invest? Should you do stocks, Forex, crypto, or NFTs? My personal answer is not a single one if you don't know how to read a chart. Without knowing how to read a chart, you end up giving all your money to those who do. Do you know what a candle is? Do you know the pocket of activity? Do you know the difference between market direction and market control? If you answer no at least once, you might want to learn how to read a chart first. Learning how to read a chart will let you know if you should trade or invest and if you should do stocks, Forex, crypto, and or NFTs. It will also let you know if this is even for you or not. So visit IamJustSeen.com to learn how to read charts with my Master in the Market course, ebooks, and webinars today. The world is changing. The question is, will you adapt with it? You feel me? Twist your fingers up. Bang, motherfucker, bang. Niggas is on opposite sides of gangs and shit, different sets and shit. They're going to twist their fingers up and bang, motherfucker, bang. And now we're on other sides of this party and shit. Nigga, I'm throwing my shit up too, nigga. Fuck you. Nigga, I'm gonna throw my shit up, nigga. What's up? Nigga, see, and this does it have to go there? The music was the tool that weaponized. Music was the weaponized tool to do that. When niggas go hit drive-bys up and shit, ain't nobody listen to no making my way downtown, walking fast, faces passing them homebound. Like, ain't nobody listen to that shit. It's fucking hurt by T.I. Like, you know what I'm saying? Look, niggas finna get hurt, murk, put them in the dirt. Boy, you better catch me first. Niggas is like, you hearing that shit. And now that's just the words. Now we look at the instrumentation. Certain instruments still bring out a different vibration too. Listening to the times when you heard some gangster music, like this is why trap music has a sound to it. When people say, "Oh, this is the sound of trap music," this is the elemental structure of the foundation of this genre of music. All we're gonna talk about is selling drugs. All we're gonna talk about selling drugs, getting money. You feel me? And we're gonna put it over these particular sounds. Like when people are like, "Yo, that's a trap beat." That's a trap beat because it sits within the fines of that. This is all the magical realm. You feel me? This is where this particular alchemy is occurring. You feel me? Motherfuckers is missing that shit. And motherfuckers is missing that shit on a strength that who's gonna teach it to us? You don't learn about this in school. Yeah, you got music class. The music class is not gonna teach you the underlying layer that takes it metaphysical. To know, damn, bro, I really need to be intentional with the shit that I say and I listen to. You feel me? It's little shit like that, little subtle shit like that, that is not so subtle at all. You feel me? It's the power of fucking music. So, like when I said, when I put that, when I put the when I was talking about problem, being one of my favorite songs in it, manifesting like, yo, all I was fucking with was bad bitches. You feel me? All I was fucking with bad bitches. I was like, yo, this is, and it's like, yo, the song was psychologically acknowledging an addiction and reaffirm it. Yo, I love bad bitches. That's my fucking problem. Yeah, I like the fuck. I got a fucking problem. Think about that shit. Like that is like some shit that you would say to a shrink. Take bad bitches out of it and say it's a drug. I love heroin. That's my problem. Like, I gotta have it. It's like, yo, you're programming yourself to be a fiend for this shit. Literally. Literally. And then when you look at all the dynamics of it, you got the bass, you got the motherfucking sample. Everything is strategically placed and is important in the sound structure of how to use this tool. You feel me? Right now, if you heard problem and shit, you used to vibe to it. Right now, if I say she eyeing me like a nigga don't exist, you already know what line comes next. You know when that song came out? That song came out like 2012. It's a 10-year-old song at this point, and you still know what part comes next. Girl, I know you want this dick. Like, you feel me? That's the power of music. It transcends time because it's this element of sound. Remember when I was talking about how air is the only tangible, the tangible, intangible, and each element goes up faster and faster, whatever the case may be. That's what sound is. Sound gets you to a position where it's like, I'm putting all of these together to repeat a certain thing. So to utilize the music means that I'm actively doing something with it. So now, if you've heard some of my jam sessions and shit, I know a lot of people be saying shit like, yo, you got bars, bro. You got bars. I'm like, but are you actually listening to what I'm saying? Why I'm saying it over this particular beat, over this particular sound pattern, saying this particular thing at this particular moment. Everybody keeps saying shit about, yo, your flow switch up. It be switching. I do that on purpose. I don't have a single monotonous flow where I'm going to rap the same way. I'm going to go through different syncopations purposely because I know when I deliver, when I use this, I'm reaffirming it for myself. Like, I got a jam session where I started off the jam session where I said, what I saw in the mind, I see in the mirror. Like, that line meant like what I saw in my mind, what I envision, I am. When I hear that for myself, I remind myself what I think I am. Remember abracadabra? But you feel me? Even in, I am that I am. Like, create, like, you feel me? What I saw in the mind, I see in the mirror. What I think in here, my reality has to be that too. That is an affirmation for me. A lot of the shit, I might start calling this shit affirmation music because, like, when I say it, it's like, yo, I have to say this for a reason. I have to use this. You feel me? Whether you only hear it one time or not, and you cut it off halfway, or it's like, now that's another thing too. The frequencies of sounds and the components of sounds, you caged in by a certain thing. So, like I said, remember when we was talking about the babies and shit, and it's like, yo, you're hearing stop and no and don't all of these times of your life and shit. You shut down and you get yourself into a box that you can't. So, certain music you can't comprehend. Certain sounds you can't internalize because you are put into by the sounds that have been used on you so long, you are internalizing some shit that you can't break out of. You dig what I'm saying? So when I say some shit, like I can say a melodic flow or some shit, and motherfuckers will be like, I don't get it. But then some people can get it instantly because it's where your mind is and what you open for. So now we're gonna tie this deeper into like more expanding aspects of it because now when we look at sound, we just talked about sound as an element itself, the letters and everything like that. Now we have to go into words. Of all that we talked about, the farthest that we made it so far was just the letters and the music notes. All of that shit is created because now we got to go into when the letters come together, they form a word. And this is where spelling comes in. You cast a spell. A casted spell is simply a sentence, an imperative sentence or a declarative sentence. We learned this in school. Y'all paid attention, I know. You feel me? A declarative sentence, I just making a statement. Imperative sentence is like, yo, this is definite. This is what it is. You feel me? You have questions, different inflections. All of these different things go into this shit. How the sound is delivered tells everything. You feel what I'm saying? It's like, yo, it's like, for example, I'll use these two words. There ain't no music to them, but there's a chant. And it'll be like, yo, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. You hear that shit all the time. You are begging. You feel me? This is why I flipped it. And at the time when that shit was going, this is why I created that shirt. This is why I created the shirt style, Black Matter Lives. And then on the side of that, I say affirm, never plead. By constantly repeating Black Lives Matter, I am begging you to see the value in my life. And the repetition, that is the music in it, right? It's a acapella, but it's like by constant, you can fit the music in it into your mind. Black people, we do it all the time. Like, you feel me? You can listen to the same song and pick out different parts of the instrumentation and be bobbing your head to different shit, but y'all both on beat. Some people bob to the bass, some people hit the snares. You feel me? Some hit the hats and everything like that. It's different. You know what I'm saying? But I'm bringing it back because it's like when I seen it, I was like, yo, let me just one tweak of the literally one tweak of the sounds. It's like it's deeper than the word, but one tweak of the sounds because it's like it went from Black Lives Matter to Black Matter Lives. You feel the difference in just that, like that phrase is the same phonetically, and you know what I'm saying, the word choice wise is the same thing, but just because the orientation has been shifted, those two, you can feel the difference in them. From saying Black Lives Matter to saying Black Matter Lives. You feel me? And that same line I put over that jam session I did on WAP. I said, Black Matter lives. Yes, Black Matter lives. It's alive and well. I did that on purpose. It wasn't just a play on words. It's like, yo, why y'all worried about WAP? I'm going down to some important shit. Like, look, Black Matter lives. Fuck Black Lives Matter. Black Matter lives. And then I repeated it over the music. And then I said, yes, it's alive and well. When people affirm that shit, their mindset changes. Because now you have one side of people, Black Lives Matter. All they're gonna see is they keep killing us in the streets. You have motherfuckers affirming Black Matter lives. Like, I wish a motherfucker would. Like, it's different energy. You feel what I'm saying? It's like, motherfuckers, you got to come with me. If that's the game we playing, you coming with me, bro. But now, going a step further, like I was saying, we're looking at it from after you get the words. This is why vocabulary is important. I don't like I have an extensive. I always say this. I got an extensive vocabulary solely to use music. You feel me? Motherfucker, like, yo, when you write, that's when you, yeah, because I know how to put certain, I know the power of a sound, right? So now when I know that I hear this sound, I now have to associate it with the definition. That's where the vocabulary comes in. You feel me? Like, this was one of the things that used to get me with the conscious community. Like, everybody, oh, grand rising. We don't say good morning because everything else, like, blah, 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 blah. That's how I know y'all are just following shit. Because I can still say good morning because I have the definitions and I understand the syntax and I understand the depths of sound. It ain't just words. I understand the depths of sound. I can say, oh, you put there's a U in there. See, when we get caught up in the phonetics that we don't understand the context of what we just heard, so we don't know which word to use. So yeah, of course, at that point you have to say grand rising. You have to utter grand rising because you don't know that morning has two differentiations for it. By simply taking the U out, you know which morning you have associated with. You connected to the sun, getting up and everything. When you put that U in there, you know it's dark and drab. But when you don't know the difference between those two, that's why you have to stop saying it. I can literally say any fucking word I want to, no matter what. You feel me? I don't stop using a certain language. I don't stop using certain words. I just master how to use those words. You feel me? I'm a wordsmith for real. If motherfuckers didn't know, like, I'm a real wordsmith in every dynamic, every capacity of the word. But it's based off of understanding the element of sound. Because now when you go to the letter and you put these things together, now you get the vocabulary, you develop it. When you get the vocabulary, now you know how to create a sentence structure. Sentences are the first root of spell. I've been saying it so much, but I had to keep going down different realities. But sentences are the basis of spells. Sentences are the basis of spells. The alchemy tied to sentences and what gives it music is rhyming. When you rhyme something, this is why they got jingles and shit and put music over shit to make it imprint within your mind. But when you rhyme something, it sticks a lot better. It sticks a lot better. Like, I remember when I was in the MLM and shit, and it was like, there was like, you have like, I forgot what the fuck it was that I rhymed. Whatever it was, what I said, it stuck to everybody. I was like, yo, because it's a rhyme. It was like, catalyze. Enzymes catalyze something. It was like catalyze something and something, but those words were all tied into the scientific point of what they was talking about. It was like, damn, how did you know that? Like, I'm like, how don't you? Like, I'm fucking dope with this shit. Right? It is what it is. I acknowledge the shit that I am. You feel me? I am that I am. But anywho, when we look at how we put words together, right? Vocabulary is important. Context is important. Content is important. Intent is important. All of these things are derived from the sounds element. How you're using this element. We don't even like, if we really studied and we really took the time to say, this is the sound element, we would watch what the fuck we say. We wouldn't speak so freely. Like, this is one of the reasons why, like, I don't like repeating myself, but this is one of the reasons why it's like, contrary to the fact that I got a podcast and I am a speaker, I don't talk as much. Like, motherfuckers will tell you, oh, he's so quiet. He just sit and play the same. Because I speak. I don't talk anymore. I speak. When you understand the element of sound, you can only speak. You're like, damn, let me not open my mouth on that. Let me not say shit. Because now you know the power of utterance. You know the power of 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 divine speech. It's different. That's what it is. It's divine speech. So now, when we put all of this shit over music, right? On a regular basis, we got the heavy bass knocking. It opens up the portal to our soul and it hits directly in our throat chakra. And we start to embody it. When we in the club singing this shit, it's like, oh, y'all gotta, this is why it's always a quandary. Like, you tell me what kind of music you listen to. If you're not intentional with your music and you're not using it, you know what I mean? It's controlling you. Like, I got this playlist on my phone, right? It's called my Ego Boost, right? I'm a single man at the moment. You feel me? working on not being single and shit. You feel me? But you feel me? At the moment, it's like, prior, like whenever I needed some kind of uplift, sometimes look, I like hearing women's voice. I like women's voices in my ear telling me I'm the shit, telling me I'm good and shit. I would prefer it to be, my lady, telling me. But you ain't always got that. So I created a playlist called Ego Boost, where it's just all songs sung by women that are giving you your, you know what I'm saying? Like giving you your flowers, saying, yo, you a good man. I appreciate you and all of this stuff like that. You feel me? So it's like when I hear those songs, it's like, damn. Now, my homies, they hear me playing the playlist and shit. Oh, this nigga in love, man. This nigga in love. Like, nah, bro, I just need a boost for myself. And I need a woman to tell me. That's it. So when I can't find the, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you don't want to, can you tell me this, then the third? Because sometimes you don't want to come off like that. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying? You want to hear it, but it's like, all right, cool. So I use music for that. You feel me? When I need some motivation on some shit, I'm gonna listen to a song. Like, I'd purposely listen to every lyric of a song before I can say I fucks with this like that. And when I listen to a lyric of a song, it's like, okay, I could use that for this particular moment. Like, you know what I'm saying? Talib Kweli got a song called Push Through with Kendrick Lamar and shit. Like, when I need some motivation, like when shit gets over, I put that song on. I don't just listen to it just because, oh, the beat hot. Like, nah, it's like, I'm purposely using this to give me some energy to move through this situation. And the song is called Push Through because I know what I'm going through. You feel what I'm saying? When I created a playlist that I listen to for when I'm trading and investing, when I'm looking at charts. And it's a song, all of the songs are connected to patience, taking your time. You feel me? I learned to use it. One of the Jones that's like as I put it on shuffle, every song that comes on, it reminds me, take your time. Don't be impulsive. Take your time. You feel what I'm saying? I've learned how to use sounds and use the elements. We all can. Every song that we hear is going to be used to keep us in a certain space. What space do we want to stay in? What space are we going to stay in? And how are we going to stay in that space? It's contingent upon the music that we listen to. You feel what I'm saying? When you learn how to use music, like music isn't something that you know what I'm saying? You feel it because you can use it. When something can trigger a feeling in you, that means it can elicit a thought. When it elicits a thought, that means it can create some shit. You feel me? But we're so consumed by the entertainment, we're not able to use the music for what it is, but the music is still being used on us. You feel me? I seen when the pill popping shit was popping. Like, I remember Wayne's I'm a pill popping and I'm a syrup sipping nigga. Like, that was the shit. But it was like, damn, you heard that shit so much. Everybody that uttered those words. I didn't like that song. Well, I did. It was 9mm. But that bar, I remember the bar, but it wasn't something that I was like, that nigga spitting. Like, nah. I've learned to use certain music though. Nonetheless, like Wayne, speaking of Wayne. So the fact that he has this, you know what I'm saying? He had that line of pill popping animal syrup sipping. Like, I seen my peers and shit grow up to pop pills and drink stuff. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, man. One of my homies, this shit scared me to life. Like, he popped a pill and I ain't gonna hold you. Look, this was the time when everybody popping pills. They was rolling and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Is you rolling? Bitch, I might be. That shit sounds so motherfucking good till you see that shit for real, right? So my partner and shit, I was considering it because everybody was popping. I was like, I might take me one. He popped one. His eyes bucked and he kept chewing. I was like, bro, you ain't got shit in your mouth. He said, yeah, I'm rolling, bro. I said, I don't want that shit. I said, what made you take that shit? You feel me? The music. The sounds were programmed and embedded. Like, yo, pop a pill. You feel me? I'm like, damn, this shit is really, really more potent than we think, and we're trying to give it credit for. You feel what I'm saying? So, speaking of how, Wayne had that influence, I also, like I said, I use music. So Wayne got a song called No Quitter Go Getter. I use that song when I need to motivate myself. You feel me? He got one of my favorite lines that he ever spoke. He's like, victory consistently, train all year to be the enemy's misery. No stress visibly, neither does it enter me. I think positively. You can't harm me mentally, not spiritually, not physically. You'll never get rid of me. That is a fucking affirmation. They're not putting that shit on the airways. That's his mixtape shit. You feel me? Imagine hearing that every single fucking day. Imagine that being the imagine when Radio Times was popping and shit. Imagine you looping that in your head. Motherfuckers be like, yo, why can't you fail? Why do you feel like you can't? Because I listen to shit that tells me I can do anything I fucking want. You feel me? I use music. Like, that's powerful to say. I know it so well. You see how it just came out? I don't know much of the other lyrics of the song. It's like, yo, victory consistently. I train all year to be the enemy's misery. Like, what? No stress visibly, neither does it enter me. I think positively. You can't harm me mentally, not physically, not spiritually. You'll never get rid of me. Like, that shit, like, yo, that is an affirmation to solidify your essence in this world. You feel what I'm saying? You gotta be intentional with what the fuck you're hearing. Because when you absorb that shit, when you absorb it and you start to apply it, it hits your unconscious mind, you live out the life. You feel me? I don't knock, and this is why another reason why like I stopped listening to gospel music too, because gospel music is, I grew up on gospel, Kurt Franklin, all the shit. This is one of the reasons why, low key, I feel like a lot of religious people had issues with like Kurt Franklin and fucking the Clark sisters and fucking Fred Hammond when they first came out, because it was like, you know, you know, Kurt Franklin was calling his album revolutionary, the revolution and shit. Fred Hammond was radical for Christ and shit. Motherfuckers like, yo, we can't do this old shit no more. But the shit that they was talking about was like, yo, they're reaching the people that, you know what I'm saying? Nobody liked that shit. Oh, we gonna still use this. I've been broken and I've been sad. You wonder why you fucking fucked up and miserable and like that's all the fuck you hear. You feel me? Like the fuck, like you basically tell yourself, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's that song? I know I've been changed. That was an amazing song in our coach, but when you actually listen to the lyrics and shit, the motherfucker literally says, I was, I had to get washed white as snow. So many words in that was associating white with good shit and black with bad. You know how you affirming that shit over yourself? You feel what I'm saying? Kurt Franklin got a joint. Silver and Gold. I used to love that shit when I was a kid, but then it's like you wonder, you when you hear it so much, you're like, damn, that's why we in poverty. I'd rather have Jesus than silver and gold. Like, so you don't want no assets, you don't want no, like, think about that shit. So it's like when you listen to gospel music, like that shit, a lot of the gospel music is depressing as fuck. It's telling you how you ain't shit. We fall down, but we get up. Don't nobody want to hear no shit like that on the motherfucking time. You feel me? You got me fucked up. Like, don't nobody want to hear that, bruh. But again, music is a tool to be used. That's why I'm like, yo, if shit, I listen to the music and shit and the shit that's allowed, none of this music is ours. Like, we not controlling that shit. It's like, yo, if they're letting us listen to it, it ain't no good for us. Low key. Like, I'm not saying gospel is bad or whatever the case may be, but listen to the shit intently. Listen to the shit intently. Like, there's no reason why you should hear gospel music and start fucking crying. Like, the fuck? Like, think about this shit. Oh, because I know I'm not worthy. I know I'm this, then the third. I know. Like, all it does is bring out that you ain't shit. And you internalize that shit. So then you start listening to this music on a regular basis. You start taking this in on a regular basis. You think that's all you listen to. You feel me? That's why I fuck with like Mary Mary and shit. Like when I listen like go that song, Go Get Your Blessing, that was some shit. That was that like when I heard that song, was in like at the time I was like in my transition phase, but it was like, yo, go get your blessing. Like motherfuckers like, I'm blessed. No, you're not blessed. You go get blessings. You go get them. So when you hear this song, it's like people, that's too worldly. The old heads be like, that's too worldly. You look at their miserable ass not being able to manifest nothing in this fucking world. Well, you can't take it with you. You can't see how all of this shit, this spell binding, the spells that you are put over you that makes you stay in a certain space. You feel me? We wonder why like motherfuckers be 30, 40, 50 years old still listen to the same. I'm like, yo, bro, you change your music palette, bro. You still listening to trap music? You still on some Jeezy shit? You feel me? Thug motivation 101. Jeezy ain't a thug no more. He married an Asian lady from The View. He don't trap no more. Why the fuck y'all still listening to this nigga talking about trapping? You feel me? The fuck? Like, what is wrong? Like, you know what I'm saying? But these are the affirmations, and this is the music that people listen to. Yo, I gotta go get that new Jeezy. Yo, it's Thug Motivation 104. Nigga, it's the same content from 101 in college, right? This is and look, this is the codified symbolism shit. This is about words. I'm gonna show y'all something, right? Peep this. Jeezy's albums, Thug Motivation 101, 102, 103, 104. When you actually go up in levels in college, you go from 100 level, 200 level, 300, 400, 500 levels. He's giving you thug motivation in the 100 level course collectively. There's no growth in that shit. He's repeating the same shit 4 times over. Migos got the culture too, the same album twice. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you feel me? Because it's the sound palette. You feel me? When Trey Songz dropped his Ready album, fucking fire ass album, he literally had to repeat it for Pain, Pleasure, and Passion or whatever that album was. Go to that album, listen to the way the songs play out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like he had one song, like, what was it? What's the joint fast? Go girl. Say ah, right? It was about alcohol and shit like that. And he got bottoms up with Nicki Minaj. Same fucking song. Same fucking song. Like, nigga, it's the same fucking song. Different feature, but it's the same fucking song. Same fucking song. I'm gonna say that again. But this is the power of the sound. They're controlling. They're like, we need you to use these elements for the sound. You feel me? Like, it's shit's powerful, man. This shit is amazing. But this is the power of sound. Sound is the element. Elements build shit. Elements create shit. You have to understand the elemental structure of a thing in order to collectively and successfully utilize it. You dig what I'm saying? To successfully utilize it. Now, mind you, this is the throat chakra. You still have the brow chakra and the crown chakra that you have to get through. You feel what I'm saying? Look at what the sounds can do to you. You'll never you can't see an illusion if you can't hear a lie. I'm gonna say that motherfucker again. You cannot see an illusion if you cannot hear a lie. You dig what I'm saying? The throat chakra precedes the brow chakra. The brow chakra is the element of light, right? And it is the illusion, the visible illusion. You feel me? You cannot you cannot see through an illusion if you cannot hear through a lie. And I get it. It's like, I know I talked about like lies you hear and lies you tell. How do you know that it's a lie? This is where it comes into understanding shit. You can't just believe. You have to get to the level of understanding. So when you hear certain words, it can't be used against you. You feel what I'm saying? And controlled and manipulating you. I know a lot of people who get caught up in the mysticism of all this shit. And because it's like, yo, I don't know how to, like a lot of us, we don't know how to use sound. You feel what I'm saying? We don't know how to use sound. So sound is used on us. This is warfare. You don't imagine how easily you can destroy the mind without even having to destroy it. Now you understand why Nas did a song called, think about this. I want to say, I think they came out on the same album. Nas did I Know I Can, and he did Made You Look. Which got more radio play? Yeah, I Know I Can became a video and shit. It became compare them. Where do they rank right now as far as what you're gonna listen to? You feel me? You know, some people like, you know what I'm saying? It was like before we came to this country, we was kings and queens, never porch monkeys. There was empires in Africa called Kush, King Timbuktu, where every race came to get books to learn. Now, you hear that. It goes in one or the out of the other because you can't associate with it. Motherfuckers don't have the vocabulary and the understanding to know about Timbuktu, to know about these things. That is the missing piece. People like, yo, just because you got exposed to, yo, drop that knowledge, whatever the case may be. It don't matter how much knowledge I drop if you don't have it in your lexicon of the shit that I'm talking about to even catch it. I could talk about it all day long. It's going to go in one ear and out the other because it's not something you can associate with. You feel me? This is why my podcast is called Profane Profundity. I know I keep saying there's a reason why, but it's layers to the shit. This is one of the reasons why my podcast is called Profane Profundity. I know niggas listen to profanity. So I got to slip the profundity in there. I can't eliminate the profanity knowing how the element of sound is being used. Motherfuckers like, yo, you cuss too much. This ignorant, right? Blah, blah, blah. I'm speaking to you the same way your music is speaking to you on a regular fucking basis. You feel me? One of my young bulls, right? He was telling me about somebody that he tried to put onto my podcast. They're like, man, I can't listen to him, man. He ignorant. Like he just talking crazy and shit. I speak the same way the motherfucker. I speak I'm giving my messages in the same way you're listening to trap music, the same way motherfuckers listen to the very music. They got the same explicit shit. You know why? Nobody wants to tie information to the shit. We're programmed to believe, oh, knowledge is supposed to be, you know what I mean? It's supposed to sound like, you gotta put your white voice on. Yo, y'all gotta watch the motherfucking movie. Fuck it, it's on Netflix. If y'all haven't seen it, fuck, it got Lakeith Stanfield in it. Damn, I just watched the bitch yesterday. But anyway, in the movie, he put his white voice on the shit. Like the shit funny as hell. But it's like the power. That's what it's called. It's called Sorry to Bother You, right? But it showed a lot of it is like how well we have been tied to believe that we are in a space we're not supposed to be. You feel what I'm saying? So imagine as black people, you know what I'm saying? We're tied to music. Music sits within us so much so that we can hear a song, we can jump in at any moment and move to the beat. We don't have to count 1, 2, 3. Let me get it. It's like, nah, it's just a bam. As soon as the beat hit, boom, you can just already start moving. Why are we able to do that? Because we have a divine connection to sound, right? And I'm gonna show you there's people who don't have any connection to sound because they can't have rhythm. People be thinking I be trying to be rude and disrespectful. I'm like, yo, white people ain't got no rhythm, so blah blah blah. It's like, yo, they cannot connect to the element of sound. Now, here's where it's problematic. They can't even connect to the element of sound, but they're using the sound weapon on you, who naturally connects to the essence of sound and can't even use the fucking weapon. Ain't that some bullshit? We don't use the weapon right. You feel me? But they told us all day long how the weapon was being used. You feel me? Like when they blamed Tupac when that dude killed that cop and screamed Thug Life, right? Let me tell you about the genius of Pac. When Pac screamed Thug Life, he put Thug Life into the ethers with the acronym, the hate you give little infants fucks everybody. Everybody thought he was just talking about some thug shit. This is why he did niggas. It's strictly for my niggas. Never ignorant, getting goals accomplished. He strategically did that because he understood sound. So when you hear me say nigga, this is what I'm talking about. You feel me? When you hear me say thug life, this is what I'm talking about. I don't give a fuck what they interpret or whatever the case may be. This is what I have defined it as. You feel me? So when I say thug life, the hate you give little infants fucks everybody. That was a powerful sentiment. You know why? Because it's still registered. Because again, whether you know something is a lie or not, or whether you know something is the truth or not, the ethers is still going to give it to you in the same capacity as a part of the throat chakra form of communication. You feel what I'm saying? All this shit is strategically done. And they seen Pac's power. The fact that he screamed thug life. Now, the dude killed the cop or whatever the case may be, and he screamed thug life and did it. You feel what I'm saying? So they made it seem as if, oh, Tupac is making him, he's influenced people. No, he's telling people not to succumb to suppression, to oppression. That's what he's saying. He never said go kill the cop. Well, yeah, he did because he said, I'm saying, no, he said, I'm not, no, that's what he says. I'm not saying go kill the cop. I'm saying the same gun that you would kill a brother in a second, use that to kill the motherfucker that's actually killing you. Thug life. It has messages to it. So this is why it's like you got to be strategic in the shit that you say because they try to box you in. The spell box you in. It casts you into something. What does a cast do? It holds. You feel me? A spellcaster is somebody who can spell and put the words into hold. Like that's where the sentence structure comes in. That's when you get the paragraph. That's when you get the page. That's when you get the story, the chapter. You know what I'm saying? The chapter in the story. That's the power of the sound. When you're able to tell that. Now nobody's able to control the narrative of their own sounds. So you're creating sounds and you're creating sounds, absorbing sounds, hearing sounds that are coming from people that are not you. You feel what I'm saying? So when they want to infiltrate and they want to control, they step into the realm of control. Like, put this music out. This keeps them where they're supposed to be. This keeps them where we need them to be because they are the only ones who are affected by sound this way and to this capacity. Put a heavy bass over the motherfucker. You put an 808 in that bitch and you got them. Put the nice melodies in it. Sound is so intricate and so potent that when it actually becomes music, it can be your best friend or it could be your worst nightmare. And don't forget to check out Cafe Clothing, formerly Just Scenes merch. Get all of your intricate designs crafted specifically for the melanated being to develop a positive imagery within self and to have a little bit of fun in the process. From the peace, love, knowledge, and freedom to the dead horses and water designs, all the styles are crafted for the imagery to make you feel as you're supposed to feel. Because as I always say, the best way to fit in is to stand out. And what better way to stand out than with your exclusive styles from Cafe Clothing. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and end it there. Yeah, I wanted to go deep with this one. I wanted to be woke with this one. I ain't give a fuck, bro. Like this shit is important because sound as an element is something that we really need to understand. But just understanding sound as an element shows you the significance of understanding each of the elements. I can only do so much. I be trying to tell y'all, put y'all up on game on this shit. Y'all can go do your own studies and figure the shit out and start to learn, but start to pay attention to the shit the sounds that you consume on a regular basis. You dig what I'm saying? What things do you consume on a regular basis? What sounds do you hear? What tonal patterns? What frequencies? Like what little glitches and shit do you hear? You feel me? A lot of motherfuckers. I'm gonna say this right. This tied to sound. It's a little bit random, but it equates. iPhones and Androids have different default alarms. You feel what I'm saying? Alarm wakes you, it abruptly wakes you up. You know why that's a problem? We got alarm clocks. You're not supposed to be woken up like that. Your whole day is fucked up after that. People don't even understand that shit. Your whole day is fucked up because you were shocked out of sleep. You were scared out of sleep. Like literally, that's what it was. So instantly, from the time your day starts, you start off in sympathetic mode, which is your fight or flight response. You feel me? And this is why I'm saying that because like I have both phones and I have two different alarms. My Android alarm, that shit different. It comes on peacefully. I be sleeping through it sometimes and people be like do 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 do. Like the shit feel good, so I'll be like I mellow in, and then I wake up to the sound I'm hearing. When the alarm goes off and it's like bah, 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 and it's like you know what I mean. The iPhone, I think I changed it to like crickets or some shit like that because I needed it to be a little bit more peaceful. But when the first one that I had, it was like dan, 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 some crazy like that. And it's like, damn, this shit just wakes you up and you like, and now you're in a fight or flight response. Fight or flight response. And if you just hop out of bed, hit that alarm, you start moving, you don't allow yourself to settle in, that's your tone set for the whole day. Now you're gonna go work for 8 hours, 12 hours, whatever the case may be. Drive in traffic. You wonder why you irritated. This is my mother. I need my coffee. I need this. I need that because the coffee is going to put the sugar into your body in order. Coffee is going to give you the sugar to attempt to hyping you up to switch your energy into, yo, I can't, you know. But the coffee reaffirms and keeps you in a sympathetic mode because now that adrenaline that it triggers, coffee triggers adrenaline, right? And you already had your adrenaline put up from the fucking alarm that just went off. You feel me? You're not designed to be healthy. You feel what I'm saying? This structure, this system ain't designed for us to be healthy in no way, shape, or form. You feel what I'm saying? A lot of us are real fucked up because of this system. You feel what I'm saying? We don't understand the little nuances. A lot of nuances and why we can't free ourselves is because of sound. We don't. How much nature do you hear on a regular basis? How much nature could you identify if you heard it off rip? Nah, we hear cars, horns, loud music all day long. Like everything, like we consume music. So like streaming services, like this is why we have to. This is why streaming services ultimately transition to that. Like you're listening to music all day. Take a break. Take a break. Chances are you got a playlist, like whatever. Even if you can't, like change your playlist at least every month. Change your palette. You feel me? We can go months on end with a favorite playlist and shit and be like, yo, I'm still listening to it. And you wonder why you stuck in the same place. It's the sound keeping you there. Tying it back to the kid example of hearing no 16,000 times before you're 4 years old. You really feel defeated and you don't feel like you can do anything. You feel what I'm saying? And then and so much so, you reach a point in life where you feel like you need permission. You feel me? This is why one of those things where I tell people like, children ask for permission, adults ask for forgiveness, and gods ask for neither. The fuck are you asking for permission and forgiveness for to live your life? Think about that shit. Like for real. I get it because we have to ask our parents for the permission for certain shit or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But it's like at some point you get stuck like that for 18 years. The parental structure is this is what you have to do for whatever. And it's like now you get free. Now you wonder why motherfuckers wild out when they go to college. Can't nobody tell me no? Oh shit. It's about to go down. That's why you gotta segue into having that patience. A lot of times we hear no so much because motherfuckers ain't got patience to raise babies. You feel what I'm saying? And that sound reverberates. You dig what I'm saying? You start off hearing as a kid, learn to walk, learn to talk. They're encouraging you. The moment you do, you hear sit down and shut up for the rest of your life. Shut your ass up. Sit down. You talking too much. Running like blah, blah, blah. It's levels. But your voice doesn't stop. You're not mute. You have to talk. Like that's how you communicate. You feel me? That's how you communicate. Communication is so potent, like down to the wire of a cry. Babies have different cries for different things. If a baby needs a diaper change and a baby needs food, it cries differently because it communicates. It knows, okay, I got to send this sound signal to you motherfuckers so you can understand what's going on with me. Whether I can actually say I'm hungry or I done pissed on myself. Like the fuck, like you feel me? Like shit like that. But all of it is rooted in off the foundation of sound. Sound is an element, yo. Like you got to think about it. It's after earth, water, fire, and air. Like you need sound to invigorate, in a sense, enlivens and shit. And then after that, you go up to the light, and then you go to the thought, then you go into the ethers. When you get into the ethers, you become a magical motherfucker. Like you can really start pull shit out of the sky. Like literally. Like when you start to think shit, it just comes into reality. Because the ethers, a thought is when you're able to slow the ethers down in order for it to be conceptualized in your mind. Then you're able to see it, and you're able to speak it, and you're able to do it. You feel me? I might get this as a tat, one of my next tats, but I used to always quote, and I still do, Sia, Who, and Heka. These are three comedic iconographies that I speak divine. I think divine, I speak divine, I do divine. Right? Sia, Who, and Heka. And that's it. You feel me? And it was in that when I started to learn about like, oh, only the sages were able to put words over music. So when I tweaked that and shit, like if you hear my jam session, go listen to the shit that I'm be saying. Like, I get it, the shit be hot, but I actually be putting affirmations in the shit, telling y'all some stories and shit. Like, you feel me? And then I'm speaking it in a layer that a lot of people don't really understand anyway. So it's like I give it in such a way that you can get the service level, but depending on how deep you are, how much you understand already, you'll be like, oh, you'll catch that punchline too. You'll be like, oh shit, did you hear when he said this? What does that mean? Oh shit, I didn't even know that that's what he was talking about. It's like, yeah, entendre game is crazy. Like at this point, I can hit a triple like it ain't nothing. But it's all in how I've understood sound, but it's all in how we as people got to get back to understanding sound the way we're supposed to. You feel me? And respecting it and appreciating it in a way and utilizing it as the tool that it is. You feel me? We always talk, yeah, get your morning affirmation. Now take that affirmation one step further and put it on a beat and make it rhyme. You ain't gotta be a rapper. You ain't gotta be that hard. But I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. When I want to manifest shit faster, I write it down in a jam session, put it over a beat that's hot. Speak it. I speak it. Like people be shocked, like, you know what I'm saying? Like they were like, yo, how do you do this? Like, do this shit so fast. Like, I don't write shit down. Like, I write, you know what I'm saying, as a whole. But for me, like when people say shit like, get you a journal where you write shit down, I'd rather do a jam session. I'd rather do a jam session, get it all out, boom, now it's over the music. Now I know when I speak it, you know, and then I rehearse it so much, and then I get my flows into my pockets, then I can say it automatically where I don't have to think about it. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I did a jam session on the Tadao beat by Masego. And I was like, take meat and potatoes to famine your friends to ensure that they never meet famine again. Take those plans and those prints that are blue and go do what you came in this plane to do. Name that you're honored with Monica, the prefix, arrive with the scene, God that they see, light that they view. I'm not hyping me, dude. I'm just giving you truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are things that I got to tell myself. It's like, yo, bro, I have a mission that I got to go into certain avenues, learn some shit, and bring it back to my people. But I gotta remind myself of that shit. Cause sometimes I be wanting to leave y'all motherfuckers hanging because y'all don't get it. I be trying to like, yo, y'all know I had to go through this shit for you. Cause nobody else was gonna like mastering the market shit, Forex and shit. This not something that we should be left out of. The fuck? Like when I look at the Forex people, when I look at Forex, it's like, where the black people at? I mean, the people that's up there that's banging the game. Like, it's like, ain't none of us up there. We got to learn from us. It was like, yeah, I got to go into this game. And it's like, now I learn it. Oh, nah, we can't. Like, nah, like take meat and potatoes to famine your friends to ensure that they never meet famine again. I got the meat and potatoes. You going to eat it? I keep going back to find the meats and potatoes of shit and I'm bringing it back to y'all. You feel what I'm saying? But these are things that I had to affirm myself. I got to constantly remind myself, like, because you want to let it go. But then sometimes you got to remember, like, just hearing it makes you remember why you got to do shit. You feel me? Like I said, when I feel down and I just need, you know what I'm saying? I don't listen to no down music. I listen to a woman's voice telling me I'm good. You feel me? Because I learned how to utilize sound. Like I learned how to use music. I learned how to use sound so well that it's like, bruh, when I want to create some shit, that's the first step of creation. How well you can put it down. Then when you make it rhyme, it sticks a lot quicker. Like this shit is really magic. That's why they say you spell words. That's why you use them. You know, it's power, life, and death in the tongue. All of this is why, because you have to understand the element of sound. When you understand the element of sound, you change your perspective, and things will get better. But I'm gonna go ahead and end it there. Go kiss your babies. Make sure they eat their vegetables, and really sit back and think about that shit. Like this, let's. I'm not controlling your parenting. I'm not controlling your parenting or trying to say that you should parent a certain way, but really start to consider what we're doing to our kids by telling them no so much. Not only telling them no so much, but telling them no and because I said so, not giving them a valid reason as to why. When you don't know why you can't do something, you'll never figure out how you can. Do you feel what I'm saying with that shit? When people talk to me and they be like, why do you feel like you can't fail at anything? Because I can't. You feel what I mean? I don't have that perception of being told that I can't do something and believe it. Like being shut down from something without knowing why. You feel me? Every experience that I have is a oh well for me. If it fucked up and it wasn't for me, I know why it's not for me. You feel me? If it's for me, I know why it's for me. I can't tell a motherfucker that you can get into the same game that I'm doing. Like motherfuckers be trying to copy the shit that I do, and like I don't get because I know why I have to do it. You're doing it because you're trying to do it because you see me do it, but I know why I have to do it. You feel what I'm saying? Because there was never a no for me. I'm not doing this shit because people are like, yo, I'm going back for all of the things that I couldn't get or whatever. I'm not doing that shit for none of that shit. I'm doing this shit because I need to do it. You feel me? But when you start telling your babies no and nah, because I said so, and you're not giving them the actual reason why, you shut down the critical thinking faculty early. And they internalize it. They hear no, oh, it's because I said so. They can't process it being a not yet. They can't process it being, oh, I gotta learn a certain skill to be able to get this. You just know, okay, it ain't for me. Then you get these motherfuckers who, you know, if it's for me, I ain't gonna have to work for it. See? Sound. That is a powerful affirmation to say, if it's for me, I don't have to work for it. And the fact that you have to work for everything in life means nothing will ever be for you. Bound. You are spellbound by the utterances of the shit that you say. And when you put that shit over music, it's permanent. Stop doing that to the babies. Stop doing that to the babies. You know why? Because look at what the fuck is created in us as adults. You know how many motherfuckers be like, this ain't for everybody. It can be. It can be. All you have to do is break through your mold that has been programmed in you from the time you were a kid. You feel what I'm saying? I used to hear shit like, if you black, you got to work twice as hard to get half as much. Nigga, I got to work twice as hard to have half as much. And when you believe that shit, you will work twice as hard and you will only achieve and you will settle for half as much because that's what you believe. When I broke that shit out of myself, I don't work twice as hard. I work half as hard to get twice as much. The fuck? Motherfuckers, why'd you get into trading and investing? Because I'm tired of putting in all this fucking hard ass work to get half. I'm working twice as hard to get half. Fuck that. Fuck that. I don't give a fuck what they told y'all. What I tell me is I'm only going to work half as hard to get twice as much. I put in the years, I put in that little bit of time to lock in, but for the rest of my longevity, for the rest of my time, I'm good. You feel me? Now motherfuckers is like, yo, you lazy. You don't never do shit but post on social media. Cause a bitch already put in the fucking work. Fuck out my face. You feel me? Don't worry about what the fuck I'm doing. Worry about why you're stuck and what sounds you have internalized that keep you stuck. I don't believe in that shit. Certain shit I just can't believe in anymore. I don't take on certain quotes anymore because it's the sound is that fucking potent. Imagine that shit. Black people, we gotta work twice as hard to get half as much. All of us have heard that shit, and we literally work twice as hard and we settle for half as much. Fuck that. I started like motherfuckers be like, yo, you know, what's the minimum wage for the job? No, nigga, not the job. What's your minimum wage? You let these motherfuckers know I'm not taking any less than this. You got me fucked up. Why don't you have the confidence to say some shit like that? Why don't you have the power to do some shit like that? You feel me? I don't hold on to that shit. The sounds that I put into myself, mm-mm, mm-mm. That's another reason why I talk some of the shit that I talk on my podcast and I use my voice because I got to go back and listen to my own shit. Sometimes I forget. Sometimes I fall off and I'm like, okay, let me see this sound so I can put the magic back in my life. You feel what I'm saying? But make sure we are explaining to our babies. All of that derived from the fact that we need to explain to our babies why we say no. No, because it's like there's no, oh, you a child. I ain't got to answer to you. You do. You do. You know why you got to answer to a child? Because you're the guardian for that motherfucker. You're supposed to help them get to there and complete their life mission. That means you have to respond to them in a way that gets them there. Everybody want to worship the ancestors. Everybody want to give acknowledgement to the ancestors that left. But what about the ones that come back? That's where y'all fucking up. And that's why y'all blessings is trash because you're beating them. You're damaging them and you're keeping them from seeing the light. But you want everybody to see yours. You got it fucked up. You got it fucked up. You got to break down and explain to these babies why they can't do something or why something shouldn't be done. Because if they have no explanation as to why they can't do something, they just feel like it's not for them. And then they never do the shit that they're supposed to do. Then they sit and wondering and have what ifs of, man, I remember when I was young, I used to want to do X, Y, and Z, man. And just, you feel me? Stop it. But I'm going to go rambling because that could turn into a whole nother episode. Go kiss your babies. Make sure to eat their vegetables. I'm going to see y'all on the next one. Peace, love, knowledge, and freedom. I'm out.